Hello, dear friends, and welcome to the Early Music Podcast. My name is Darina Ablogina. The European Early Music Association, REMA, is currently going through a process to encourage transition for its members, more sustainability, inclusion, diversity, access for audiences and artists. Early music today embraces a multitude of perspectives, breathing new life into age-old compositions while challenging the boundaries of what we once understood about this era. In this season, we will discuss how diversity, be it cultural, musical, or interpretive, has played a key role in shaping the evolution of early music. In today's episode, we are going to discover the EEEmerging action.
I'm Isabelle Battioni. I'm the director of EEEmerging. It's what we call in France un centre culturel de rencontre. It's a label by the Ministry of Culture dedicated to places, heritage places that are putting up artistic and intellectual projects the whole year round.
When this idea of a residential project came to your mind to create this association?
The residencies is really a way of being for heritage cultural center. And we started to use it for young ensembles in about 2006 and 2007. The first one was called Emerging. It was for emerging European ensembles. That's why you have the 3 E's. The second program, Emerging Plus, really started to go from a logic of pyramidal logic of emerging, which was the competition idea, to an idea of cooperation. And then we started to build communities. It was really important with the COVID period that people helped each other. And we had to be very inventive then. We did innovation labs and so on. And for this third program, Sustainable Emerging, we shifted not only on ensemble sustainabilities and what it means for their careers, the work environment, the ecosystem, the parity, fighting against discriminations, the right condition of living. So all that belongs to what we imagine sustainability is. It's not just a green carbon imprint of what we do and whether we can take or not planes, The ensembles are the beneficiaries, but the second beneficiaries is the consortium, the partners, and how can we change ourselves to be more resilient in the future. We can see all the difficulties there is with local authorities, with public funding, with companies as well, who sponsors music. So to go on to culture is more than ever a necessity, and to go on living out of culture, we need to be inventive. So the idea was with this partnership, to actually use this cooperation to change ourselves and put us on the road for transitioning towards more sustainability. And we are 11 musical partners, and we have 2 other partners, Pro Progression in Hungary, the Green Room in France, who are dedicated to sustainability and sustainability in cultural surroundings.
You have mentioned something in your presentation about the studies on mid-career of musicians that have done emerging.
We don't know yet how to do it, but it was really important for us to also go beyond young ensembles. How? Because what we see all around is you have a lot of talents, you have a lot of young ensembles, you have a lot of musicians, you have less and less concerts and less platforms where to play. People are also thinking that there are other ways of doing concerts. You don't have always to do concerts at venues. You can do it on outdoors, you can do it outreach programs and so on. You have many ways maybe of living as musicians. You don't have to have always the traditional way of thinking as what is a career for musicians. The intuition, it's an intuition at this stage, is artists who have already done their experience as performers. During COVID, a lot of people went to the countryside. Some of them might train again, sometimes in music, sometimes outside of music, to have a second life, basically. The time where we were all doing one job during all our professional life is a bit changing. So the idea for these studies was to try and document what's happening with musicians in mid-careers. Are you still going to want to stay in this type of careers? Do you want to stay in music but settle somewhere? Just some ensembles starting their own festival. Some just want to go on. Some just change jobs. We don't know. We have when we met with several organizations promoting young ensembles, but also with foundations and local authorities supporting the schemes. And their questions was, how do you make alliance between yourself? Because the money is not going to duplicate, and what's happening to the people who are supporting for 2, 3, or 4 years, and in 5 years, where do they stand, and what is, everybody is asking themselves questions. So there is a time now to think what it means sustainability.
As you mentioned before, this freelance touring life sometimes is not compatible with normal human life, as what we say. Do you talk about this with your ensembles in the EEEmerging?
They are in a different situation because they start when they come with sustainable imaging or imaging plus. They are at the beginning. We do talk about what, as a business model in many ways, what do they expect from their ensembles? Do they expect to mostly earn all their living from their ensembles? Is it 20% of their living? And you have all the type of schemes around, because some really want to do most of it out of an ensemble. Some belong to 2 or 3 or 4 ensembles, and and that's the combination of the whole ensemble that makes a living. So I think there are many ways to reach a goal and to earn a living and try to be happy. In many ways, that's what we all aim at, isn't it?
Another important aspect you have touched about mental health of musicians, and I think, well, we are now overwhelmed with anxiety, and yes, as you also mentioned before, the situation that the market is oversaturated. How do we approach that problem?
If we knew how to approach it, it would be easy. The first thing is to be aware of the issue and to talk about it.
Thank you for listening to our episode. Please find all the additional information in the description box. I wish you all the best. Bye.